And for a great afternoon of sports entertainment.
I'm all right.
Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports. Two Men On, with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports.
Mike's hot.
It's Monday, Albuquerque. You know what that means? That means the boys are at Howie's sports page and we're staving off tomorrow.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. All right, Jake. So you're currently, your vote doesn't matter in this group. How does that make you feel?
Well, it might matter in the state.
That's such a good answer.
You know, so you never know. That's why you got to go out and vote.
Jake Cassidy.
You are wearing your red hat today, Jake. So
Yeah, it doesn't say a certain slogan on it, though. It says Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
So
we know what it
Yeah.
is. We know what it
That's
is, young
Photoshop.
Cassio.
That's undercover racist. That's what
whoa,
everyone knows.
whoa, I'm a man of the
You're
people.
signaling.
Yeah, you're signaling.
I've been wearing this hat a little bit more in the month of November than I have previously.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But, you know, if it was this group, sure, my
here we
vote
go.
wouldn't matter.
Okay, here we go. Luke Markwith is here. Luke, how are you, brother?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Good. Big. Had a big weekend, huh?
Yeah, they're all big weekends anymore.
The crowd for the Lobo game pretty good here.
It was a good crowd. It was a less than great game,
Very much less.
but it was a good crowd.
Why aren't they coached well? Like, help me understand why this team doesn't know how to close out anything.
Should be their fifth win right now.
Why can they not get a lead and then maintain it?
Should be their fifth win right now with
Yeah.
their eyes on one more win with 3 shots left in the season. But Montana State, Division II powerhouse, came through in the fourth quarter. 10-point lead
Booty
on
points.
the loser Wyoming Cowboys,
Hold
who
on.
scored more points against anyone all year on Saturday, came back in the fourth quarter. Disgusting.
Yeah, that one hurt.
They're terrible. It is, I think, the worst. And I'm not, again, you put up 40-something points. I'm not mad at you, offense.
Sure.
I think it is the worst approach to collegiate defense that I have ever seen.
Ah, yes. Prevent in the first quarter.
Like, what are we doing?
We're just going to stop the Hail Mary in the first half. That's all we're doing.
Well,
I think Bronco needs to have a little chit chat with Patino about, you know, how to have intense, high, fast-paced defense.
Are they doing their coaches show tomorrow? Isaiah, back at the studio. Are they doing their coaches show tomorrow on Election Tuesday?
Oh, hello. Thank you guys for the awesome intro. And yes, Bronco will be on the
intro. You're on it.
The name is in the intro.
All right, we're
All
getting
right,
your name
don't-
from the intro.
Don't gas me up too much. Don't gas me up.
Can you
No,
replace it with
Bronco will be on the show tomorrow. I actually talked with him. I asked him a good look question this morning on opening drive, and he seems to be in good spirits. I don't think he's going to shy away from the Lobo Talk show tomorrow.
Okay. There was no press conference today. But yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe he's in good spirits. I guess spirits is a type of win.
Depends on what kind of
Well,
spirit.
they have a short week because they've got to travel. So I know they have a practice today. That could be why.
That's a good point because there's always an excuse to why they're always losing.
Speaking of spirits, Spirit Halloween, great deals this week.
I got
If you want-
50% off.
Hey, you want to plan your costume next
Yep.
year? Today's the day.
Get ready for it. The real story of the weekend was the New Mexico United. Big win at
Ooh-wee.
home. Their first playoff game ever in New Mexico. Fell behind one early. I'm not a guy who wants to be overly critical, but I was watching and I thought this team is just waiting for an opportunity. This team thinks is they're a 1 seed. It's going to be handed to them. And then Phoenix Rising put one on the board and they manned up real quick to the United. They brought the hammer down. 2 of them. Both lasers, it was, one that was hit so hard you couldn't even tell across the goal line. I'm not joking. And then a second one that was a one-timer that was very special. So super good game. They have 6 days to turn it around. They are playing on Saturday
against Vegas, right?
Let's go.
Ooh, Vegas, baby. Vegas.
Absolute banger. I didn't make it out. I watched it on the CBS Sports broadcast because it was rain. I am soft.
Yeah, you're pillow soft.
I think that put them in like the league history for home wins in a row, consecutive home wins.
11, I think.
11 in a row, consecutive
11.
at home.
Making USL history.
That's crazy. I'm like pumped for them. Like super pumped for them. And the fans, like I'm watching on that CBS Sports did the broadcast. I'm watching, and as the rain is coming down, no one is leaving.
Yeah.
No fans are walking away.
They got crazier.
It was awesome.
This is the most success New Mexico has had in football in a long time.
That's nice.
For football.
That's nice.
It's
Nice.
Football is life.
Every year, high school football teams have to beat other high school football teams from New Mexico. But aside from that, yes,
Yeah.
you are correct.
I mean, I think the rain made them crazier. Like when you get a mogwai wet and it turns into a gremlin. That's what happened to the crowd
You know what that's
at the
from?
United.
I do. The Gremlins.
It's all in the name. Like it kind of
Don't
gave it
feed them
away.
after midnight.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was
like
like Eastern Standard Time or like if you change time zones, did
Good
the
point.
rules change?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like when can you start feeding them again? What's the window?
Like if you're
I
right
don't-
on the border, can you cross the time zone and then give them a
Yeah, I had a lot of
Excellent
gremlin
question.
related questions.
These are all excellent questions that should be answered.
You haven't really thought about this.
I put a lot of thought into this. Like,
Yeah.
different time zones if you travel.
Well, and what you didn't bring up just now is one of those gremlins had on like a Karate Kid style bandana. So is that a Japanese one? And if so, what time zone are we really working
Yeah,
with now?
exactly. I mean, now we're getting international on this, and I mean, just there's more questions than answers.
Well, here's what I know. If you get a gremlin internationally as of tomorrow, there could be up to 100% tariff on it.
That is true as
It
well.
would be 20.
Mexican
Okay.
gremlins up to 75%.
We were at 40 and we were at 20 now. Okay.
What I would do, just out of I would either do 45 or 47. That's what I would do.
That's
Like celebrate it the right way.
well. I mean, why you already celebrated 45? Might as
So
well go
47,
for 47.
Well,
That's
if
a good one.
you want to make a point, you do a 4,547% tariff. That'll really show them.
Yeah. You know, I'm not angry with that idea. that would stimulate the economy quite well and the gremlin more.
What economy?
During the break, I will teach you how tariffs work, young Cassio. It's going to be a very pivotal moment in your life.
Jake's
That's
like,
why they dropped from 40% to 20.
Jake says, I know what tariffs are. Okay, I looked it up earlier today when I heard about it for the first time.
We got a friend of the show, Robert, wants to talk some United.
Oh, I like this
Okay.
idea. Welcome to the program, friend of the show, Robert. So much Unidos.
Hey, ¿cómo estás? Hey, I just wanted to let you know, I think the United has to be the most successful professional sports team here in Albuquerque since the Dukes or minor league baseball. You know, in the past, these professional teams would last maybe 2 years, 3 years at the most. We've had professional soccer, basically everything except, well, I won't give you the background, but you know, they're doing a good job of holding the fans, showing a lot of interest and support, and they've done a lot for the state. They've had a huge positive impact on the state of New Mexico. They brought a lot of good things. I hope that the fans here in Albuquerque continue to support the program because it is a professional program, and I think we're fortunate. You know, a lot of people think that these teams they're pretty special. Actually, we're fortunate to have a team here in Albuquerque. So, anyway, congratulations. I think
Yeah, good note.
we have a good chance of taking it all. You guys have a great day.
Yeah, super good note there. I mean,
Okay, not a single gremlin question, Robert. Like nothing on your mind at all
We're
about
talking about the things that matter.
the origin
That's
of Mogwais. Like nothing. Okay.
Well, and not wrong, though, is Robert in a lot of ways as it relates to, you look at the USL Pro, you look at how that league draws. They're the only team that consistently puts 5 digits worth of fans in the stands.
Sure.
Like they regularly have 10,000 plus fans.
I mean, they've done a great job of creating a culture with community events and
Yeah.
doing a lot of other things, and the people that are into it are diehard supporters.
Well, and Robert's making the perfect analogy, right? Like as I sit here across from you guys, me across from you three and Isaiah back at the studio, what hat am I wearing? The Albuquerque Duke.
Oh, yeah,
The second best brand in this town is the New Mexico United.
for sure.
It's we'll be here all night long for Monday Night Football. We won't see a Lobos hoodie. We won't see Isotopes gear.
We might.
Well, the thing with
The Lobo
United
stuff
is,
here is pretty common, but the Isotopes, no. I mean, you'll see 10 times more Duke stuff than you'll ever see Isotope stuff around here.
the thing with United though is you can actually tell when it's a game day because of how many people are wearing United gear.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not looking at the schedule regularly. I'm not gonna lie, but I know when it's game day because I see so many people in gear.
I was in Corrales yesterday for like a political thing. So I'm in Corrales yesterday for an event. That's nowhere near the stadium. Nowhere.
Sure.
United gear, United gear, United gear,
Oh,
United
yeah.
gear.
The rally was on Thursday though.
I swear. I swear. Do you hear him? Do you hear what he just did?
I know there's another thing, and I know high school, it's obviously a lot smaller of an audience, and also there's so many teams, so it's hard for a city to gather on one. But I mean, La Cueva is going to other states and smoking guys. I mean, La Cueva can take on most teams in the area. You can go outside the state. I mean, they're playing, got people in Arizona, beating them. I think La Cueva is another New Mexico team that I'm sure maybe somebody out of state will think, oh, this is a New Mexico team. They're not that good. And then La Cueva goes out and shows that they are very valid.
Well, my
La
Eldorado
Cueva
Eagles
trying to be our modern day here in New Mexico. this is our IMG Academy.
are Oak Hill.
Dude, back to United. Like, I'm glad the results on the field are fantastic. They're number one in the West, home field advantage all throughout the West side of the playoffs, maybe even the championship, depending on a couple lucky breaks.
Right.
But what they've done for the community has been unmatched.
Yeah.
Like providing soccer to communities that wouldn't have it otherwise, and all the fundraising for, marginalized groups. Like, they really go hard in Albuquerque, and not only Albuquerque surrounding areas, but all of New Mexico.
Yeah, they've helped me with my personal fundraisers I do on the side, like shout out New Mexico United for always supporting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be a shock to the friend of the show that we aren't the biggest football fans in the world, but we support the hell out of United for what they do for the community. Also, kits and merch, absolute fire.
Well, and,
Gas.
They came in gangbusters year one and did some really special stuff, and that was cool. And then this is not a critical statement. This is a factual statement. Kind of lulled for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was still new and shiny, and everyone enjoyed it. And now that effort that has been given in the community so much, and that effort that's been given in the surrounded area so much, it's being given on the field.
Yeah.
Like, there was no doubt last night watching it after it was evened up that there was no looking back for this team. They were going to put another one in. They were going to keep putting the pressure on. They were going to keep doing those things. And if they on the field weren't going to do it, that fan base and attendance was going to will them too. It was wild.
No, like I said, it's been a huge success, and it's not the first time they've tried it in New Mexico. I mean, I remember going to Chili's games as a maybe middle school kid when there was a professional team, the New Mexico Chili's.
Good name.
And they just never had the community outreach or the support. They just never locked on the way that the United have.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the product on the field, the United, like I said, have just done so much off the field in the community and just built a culture that people love.
Well, and it's an old business adage, but you put your money where your return is, right?
Yeah.
And I own a small business. You operate a small business.
Yeah.
Jake calls himself a business.
I'm a businessman.
A business man.
But, that's philanthropy is your best advertising.
Oh, yeah.
There's not another way. You call any 4-letter TV network, any 3-letter TV network, any 4-letter radio network, and you say, hey, we're doing a thing in this area that helps others. By the way, tickets are 50% off.
Yeah.
People subscribe to that. People buy into that. That's not so far-fetched from the Duke City Championship Wrestling formula. We have two different, this is full transparency here. We have two different contracts. We have the contract with the El Rey, which is like incentive based off tickets and these kind of things. We have our contract with the Rio Rancho Event Center, which is incentivized off getting people in the building.
Yeah.
Well, we can do that. We can help youth groups. We can help organizations. The United do the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's wildly smart. And then again, to put a wrap on this whole thing, then you win.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're not just a fan of a thing. You're a fan of a winning thing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you know what's tough for New Mexican? They're not used to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know how to respond to all this success.
What is this? The team that I'm vested in
What is this feeling?
has a strong possibility of being successful? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And last night's game was that good. I watched 0 Sunday Night Football. I was dialed into that United game, and it was worth every 6 extra minutes at the end of the game for no reason. That was so stupid.
I made one pass around the concourse at the lab last night to say hi to some friends of the show. And like we have been freezing all weekend calling hockey at the Outpost Ice Arena.
Correct.
I was like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go home. I need my warm weighted blanket and United on television.
Speaking of, whenever we get back from the break, we recap Van and I's weekend at the Outpost Ice Arenas as we broadcast hockey. That is a real sentence.
Yep.
Hockey talk.
Why did you do that?
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not
I mean,
necessarily.
why did you say that? Why did you do it like that?
Because I get excited when we start talking a little hockey.
It's going to be very little. This is just a segue to NFL talk. That's the whole show. We're at Howie's sports page watching Monday Night Football. They wouldn't even turn on the World Series here.
Yeah, this isn't Hockey Night in Canada
Yeah, what
here.
are you doing?
No.
We're not really talking hockey. We're just going to complain a lot.
Yeah, no, at least, but the word hockey is involved.
When we get back, we
Rounding the corner.
skate around the word hockey.
Yeah, we're gonna get the puck out of here.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On, live from Howie Sports Page. We're hosting Monday Night Football tonight. Going to be a lot of fun. Halftime giveaways, free glizzies. Don't let the rain keep you away.
Oh, no. It's always warm in Howie's.
And
It's super
snow,
warm
too.
in here.
I was looking up what Isaiah was saying about La Cueva football.
Mm-hmm.
They played, is it called Pinnacle? Is that who
Yeah.
they played? So they played Pinnacle.
I think that's where Spencer Rattler went to high school.
It wasn't a smoking, but they won in double overtime. And outside of that, it's all New Mexico stuff. I was like, oh, I didn't know they were going out of state all the time.
Yeah. Pinnacle's ranked 14th in Arizona. I mean, for a New Mexico school, smoking or not, it's pretty impressive. And I think at least for the other schools in the area, I would imagine hopefully next season they try to book another one. I'm sure there was some money involved in
Play
that
of the
to help
year.
out the school.
I don't know enough about how that works.
Yeah, and that was a neutral site game. That was in Flagstaff, even though they were playing Pinnacle
Yeah.
out of Phoenix. I had some friends that went to the game, said it was great.
I bet it would be. That would be a cool thing to go to.
It's a pretty good advantage for Albuquerque, being up in the mountains at Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. And then they played Volcano Vista. Yeah, right after that. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
never mind. So, okay, I got it here. So undefeated. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Pinnacle played Centennial also this year, and they won by 3. And Centennial is also a school that, could be one of the only 2 teams that can knock off La Cueva, which is Centennial and Cleveland.
Now, Centennial, is that the one in
Oh, wait,
Arizona?
it's a different Centennial.
Yeah, I want to. Be clear. Yeah, that one's the one down by the. Oh, what's that university? University of Arizona.
Okay, it's a good guess.
Is that correct? I
There's
think-
also a Centennial in Cruces, though.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
that one.
Not
though.
that one.
No.
Yeah, that one also is that Centennial and Cruces in Cleveland are the only 2 schools that could possibly compete with Cueva. At least to my knowledge, anything can happen. But
Now you know.
a little high school football and 2 Men On. How about it?
It's not for me. I've tried to follow high school football. It's just not.
I'm not allowed within 500 yards of stadiums.
That's right. Yeah, we've heard of it.
Peoria, Arizona.
Also, we don't want to put all that extra pressure on these young student athletes having 2 Men On talk about them.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
the big time.
It's a lot on their
It's-
shoulders, man.
It's so hard to cover too, because
They love it.
you can't be like critical of a high school kid.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
everything you say about high school sports is how good the winning team did. Like that's all you can really talk about. It's
Another talking point I would just kind of go at like if there's a team that was losing pretty bad, and especially because last week was the last week of the regular season, I was just saying like things like in high school. I mean, obviously you can make bigger jumps in an off season than say like an NFL player because they're already pretty much set into what they do and what they're good at. Whereas in high school, I mean, like some kids can really turn it around in one off season, especially going from like a sophomore to a junior or a freshman to a sophomore.
puberty is
that.
wild.
Sure. Yeah, you get the dads of the 2 best players in the neighborhood jobs at the car dealership. Next year, you're really going to turn it around, man.
Yeah, there was an interesting crowd at my last game, and put it that way.
I mean, even Brian Urlacher, his sophomore, junior year in high school was not big. I mean, he was a lot smaller. He blew up before his senior year and got a lot bigger and put the work in. But yeah, like you said, there can be huge differences in a year of high school kids.
The thing I really struggle with, I'm just looking at like some scores from last week. This Tatum over Dulce, the 58-6. I don't know how you really talk about that. Tucumcari over Capitan, 41-0. Cuba over Laguna, 21-0. I just get it's so disproportionate often.
Yeah.
To where it's like tough.
Yeah, what you notice, especially, it was really shocking how heavy it is in New Mexico, but the rankings are so accurate. Like if there is a team that's ranked 6 and they're going against a number 5, the score is like 45-42. Whereas if you have like a number 3 going against a number 20th, the score is like 45.
They count up till 20?
The rankings?
Also receiving
25,
votes.
I believe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm looking. Oh god. Yeah, some of these are tough. If you were to do like one spotlight of one game, like okay. Like if you were to like post, be like, I'm trying to look for the best one from whatever this past weekend was. But if you were to look at one really, and you'd be like, okay, this was a really good game. Because there's not a ton of that. Here we go. McCurdy Charter and Hozo Charter 42-40. That was a game.
What's also really fun is Albuquerque Journal. They have the Player of the Week thing, and some of these stat lines that these players will have are insane. Last week there was a big boy. He's 295 pounds. And he had an interception return for a touchdown, a fumble return for a touchdown, and a rushing touchdown. He's a defensive tackle.
Big man putting in the work.
Yeah, and like this guy has got to win it of the Albuquerque Player of the Week. So that's pretty fun too. Looking at that stat line.
When I was a kid, the local sports reporter, his name was Steve Porter. I'll say his name out loud. He got caught taking bribes from parents.
Oh, that's awesome.
To get their kid as the
spotlight player.
Spotlight player in the paper. But the bribes were like stupid. They were like, I own a Subway and you can get a sandwich every week for a year or something.
I take that, Brad.
I got 75 cents off Shake and Bake.
It adds up. Also, Van, it's Van, VAN at TalkABQ, TalkABQ.com.
Yeah.
We would love to highlight your kid for sandwiches.
That's our deal. Don't tell the FCC.
Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? Damn it.
You see Kamala Harris goes on Saturday Night Live on Saturday night. She gets 2 minutes in her sketch. So they gave Donald Trump a minute on Sunday Night Football last night.
No.
And like it's up in arms. Like there's a minute of unfair because I'm not sure how much the friends of the show know about this. You have to have access to FCC on entertainment programming, not on news programming.
Yeah.
News programming is different, does not count. But like our show, I think is stupidly categorized as news. So we can do whatever we want.
Sure.
But
This is where I come for my news.
yeah, but Saturday Night Live is not.
Well, what is Kamala going to do to get even now? Is she going to have a reality show for 12 years on NBC
Oh,
to
good
make
one.
it fair?
That's a super good one.
That was before.
Did you ever see the argument between Jon Stewart and Tucker Carlson, where he was talking about, you're
Classic.
doing a disservice to this? He goes, my show is followed by puppets making crank phone calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, you should not be taking my news seriously. Like
Different world.
we're followed by puppets making crank phone calls.
Sure. I try to covertly sneak in a wiener joke every time. You're going to take us that seriously?
Speaking of not taking things seriously, Van and I were at the Outpost Ice Arena.
Great segue.
Yes.
We broadcast 6 hockey games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was 18U hockey. So what it is, it's all these. It's like 100% of them end up as Division something college hockey players, and then eventually professional hockey players.
Every single one of these young athletes are going to go to college or pros and play hockey.
Correct. And they had the unfortunate grace of Van and I over the broadcast where this is real. Van, tell me when I'm lying.
Okay.
We worked in bits on 1970s Celebrity Squares.
Correct.
We
Hollywood Squares. Yeah.
Hollywood Squares.
We did that.
Yeah, we worked in bits
Dee Dee
on
McCall.
For the block.
Van did a whole pitch on an IPO for an application that helps grandparents connect with grandchildren.
You'll never guess what it's called, Luke. Instagram.
This is very real. Continuing on, we worked our favorite ingredients to our favorite casseroles.
Yep.
We also then took the word Zamboni and made rhyming words off of it.
We
for
did
an
Zamboni.
entire period.
We did Zamboni puns for 20 minutes straight. It was fantastic.
If there was one person listening or watching us by the end of that pun session, they were Zam lonely. Because this is how poorly we did at this.
And
For
those of you who stayed, you're my Zam homie.
How many of these casseroles involved a can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup?
Almost all.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
that's everything. It's the
base.
one.
Well, and then we made obviously mention of how we both grew up on like government cheese.
I was going to say, or in my house, it was store brand
Yes,
cream of mushroom soup.
100%. So it was
Sure, fine.
what to do with your expiring breads and how to turn them into casserole layers. It was a lot of fun with that. And then also we were regularly Googling the rules because we're not familiar with the rules and hand signals.
Also, didn't bother giving us a cheat sheet of the rules or the calls, or we had to ask fans and family how overtime worked.
Oh, hey, and we got to call a shootout.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was,
That was probably the highlight of your day.
I mean, you could do that on just about any afternoon in New Mexico, though.
call a shootout.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
Nice.
See what you did there. But the thing we'll leave you with, and we do this every so often, during hockey, during the play, there are these rafters that run over the ice rink there at the Outpost Ice Arena.
Right.
And every so often, the kids would try to clear the puck, or they try to do whatever, the athletes, and it would hit the rafter, and it would make a noise. It would make a dong. So Van and I started a Dongs for Kids campaign, where after every single dong off a raptor, we would give $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Mexico.
Nice. How
So
much
it was
money you raise?
$100. So
There we go.
we gave-
I was gonna say you got to tell these kids that beforehand so they give them something to shoot at.
Well, no, the parents told them.
Oh,
And
okay,
a couple
good.
of them were. They told us a couple of the kids were trying.
There you go.
they were trying to bleed us dry.
It had that field goal hits the upright sound to it.
I mean, you could hear it over the broadcast too. It's loud enough to go over.
Yeah.
We go, oh, there it is again. Time for another $10 donation for dongs for kids. Be like, Fred, please explain what that means.
Yes, and
Because we
be
can't.
careful about that website.
So it was it was a super fun weekend. Thank you to the Outpost Ice Arena for having us. Thank you to Stan Hubbard. Thank you to all those guys that were so kind in having us in their building and just butchering their sport.
And all the new friends of the show, welcome. All across the country, New Jersey, Orange County, Seattle,
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
But I was gonna say of any sport, I would imagine, especially when they get to that level, like the names have to be the hardest to pronounce of any. Not a lot of Smiths and Johnsons
buddy.
out there, you know.
We bought so many names over the
Like
weekend.
6 consonants in a row, and
But it was like the ruling class that was like the parents of these kids. So like
Sure.
every kid was named Connor, every kid was named Gilbert, every kid was named
Yeah.
um
For all the American kids.
yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
I would expect a few Sergeys or
There was.
yeah,
Oh, there was. A lot of
A lot of
Bradens,
Alexanders.
Tradens,
yeah.
Aidens.
some
Jaden.
Z's in those last names.
Yeah.
It was just there was a lot going on. So yeah, we survived it.
Mhm.
And
I
they-
think we thrived it, if you're asking
well,
me.
they asked us back, so we're going to be there this Saturday, calling more hockey. So what is going on? Also, if you come out there to see us in person, we will let you interrupt the broadcast. We absolutely will.
Oh, I may have to plan on that. It's
Yeah,
just down the
we-
street.
Right down
We
the street
need
from
help.
Howie's.
We need a lot of help up there.
What we lack in hockey knowledge, we make up for in sheer raw entertainment.
Puns.
Jason Thomas didn't give you any pointers going in.
He acted like you didn't know us. Voice of the Outpost.
Oh man,
It hurt. It hurt me. NFL talk for the rest of the program whenever we get back. It's Tuning On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We're live at Howie's sports page. Time to recap the NFL from over the weekend. Big story is Carolina Panthers. I called it over the New Orleans Saints. Bryce Young is the truth. He will never lose another game again. I told you so.
Dennis Allen won't lose another game with the Saints ever again either.
He gone.
He gone.
Derek Carr has dismantled 2 organizations now.
Congratulations. It's well done. It's hard to do. Also, Derek Carr set an NFL record. He's been beaten by 31 out of the 32 NFL teams now, breaking a 8-way tie.
He also
Pretty
has
impressive.
in the first 11 years of a career, he's tied with Archie Manning for most losses, 91. And he has the records for all the other ones.
I mean, what he lacks in winning, he makes up for in eyeliner. So, I mean, there's that. Got that going for him.
Who hasn't beat him?
The
I
Raiders.
just said it's got to be the Raiders.
The
That's the team it
Raiders.
just came from.
Of course, it's the Raiders.
He lost a lot of games with them.
Yeah. Not to them. For them.
Oh, now I get it.
For them.
Took me a
Yeah.
second.
When does he play them next?
Yeah. I like
he
your
could go for
chances.
32.
Do it right.
Sunday Night Football, like a big one. Do it right.
Oh yeah.
So does this just prove that Derek was better, or David was better than Derek?
Well, he was willing to rip the carpet out from under his whole career, not to have like Tua brain, because he got beat up. The only reason he didn't have any success is because he was a shell of himself after the second year of the NFL.
And by the way, a little, not to segue into Tua, but isn't it insane how this is now the 30th time he's had a concussion, but he keeps coming back, but he comes back and he's not playing bad at all. He's not playing great, but his numbers, like his completion percentage, the amount of touchdowns, and it seems like he comes back and he plays in such an average to a slightly above average.
But why?
way that-
But
He
why
can
when
win.
why when you had such a good chance to say playing out of his mind, you didn't do it?
That
because he's not doing 4 touchdowns, but 2 touchdowns, 260 yards, like something like that, 27 for 38, like those kind of numbers. It's at some point you tip your hat to him, no pun intended.
tip your
Tip your
guardian
hat.
cap to him.
That's a good one.
You tip your hat to him a little bit. He's coming back and he's actually playing decent.
25 of 28, 231 yards, 2 tutties, no picks.
And
What
a
are we-
loss.
And a loss.
In a L.
Thank you, Fred.
To who though?
The Buffalo Bills.
I don't know how much. The fact that it was a 3-point loss. I mean, again, you tip your hat to Tua.
No, he's definitely got the talent when he's out there, and they're a much more competitive team when he's out there. That's kind of the side subject to everything else in this. There's no question about his talent.
Oh yeah, no one other than Patrick Mahomes and Tua know how to throw to Tyreek. Skylar
also-
Thompson and Tyler Huntley, they couldn't figure out how to throw to Tyreek.
I just read that the Chiefs are the front runners to actually possibly get Tyreek back in a trade if the Dolphins decide to get rid of him.
Tyreek is too happy with his lifestyle out there. He's with his best buddy Drew Rosenhaus all the time, and they get to just hang out on the beach.
I think he misses Mahomes.
I think he also appreciates no income tax in the state.
Good point.
Well, just eight of them a year. I mean, the other ones.
Property tax is higher, sales tax is higher. They're going to get theirs. They're going to make up for it.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no magic, no sales tax formula.
Well, there's no sales tax in Montana.
I don't know. It's good to know.
There's also no NFL franchises in Montana.
Iowa. On booze.
Well, that's a swing state, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Well, not anymore. Not as of Saturday. They said it's not.
Okay, there we go.
So it's just a Harris state now.
I'm not counting any chickens.
The Washington Guardians took a big victory over Daniel Jones and the New York Giants over the weekend. Jaden Daniels is your rookie of the year. He's also your offensive MVP and league MVP. So that's incredible. He's very good.
Minus some fourth quarter garbage time points. This game wasn't as close as it looked. They had the B team in the fourth quarter.
Their whole roster is B team. I'm looking at this New York Giants roster. They have 0 players on this team.
Malik Neighbors. That's a dog.
He can go. Yeah, he can go.
they're playing.
He will go as soon as he gets the chance. He will go somewhere else with a better team and a better quarterback and a better.
Well, the Giants are another one of those teams where, I mean, if you do swap out that quarterback, they go from being below average to they could easily become above average just from one swap of the player. They're very close just because they have Malik Neighbors there.
Yeah, and Tyrone Tracy's doing a good job too, out of Purdue, and not a bad running back. Better than, the motor Devin Singletary.
Yeah, the Giants, they haven't won many games, but I think for the most part, they've outplayed what we expected them to be so far. They've at least hung in there for majority of their games. Whereas last year, it was really, really ugly.
How many wins do they have this year?
The same amount as Miami Dolphins and Tua, which would be Tua wins.
Yeah, I don't think they've done anything impressive. Like, they don't win. They're not good.
Yeah, and the only success they have with those Super Bowls is because of pure luck.
No, they had
lights out defenses.
And Eli Manning was a stud.
Plaxico Burress.
Who shot himself?
Yeah.
Keep going.
It takes a lot of balls.
Okay, that's not the one. When we get back from the break, we can continue our NFL breakdown. It's 2 Minute On live from Howie Sports Page, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We've been doing our Sports Animal Audible of the day. It's been a lot of fun. We gave out 4 sets of Delios, that is Wyoming and Lobos tickets last week, to listeners who tuned in the morning and tuned in with us. And now it's our turn to return the favor. So Sports Animal Audible word of the day, boys. We need a good one. We need a good audible word of the day. And I don't know if we need to do a style of it's a word for today or it's word for tomorrow. This is our first one. Like what are the rules here, y'all?
I think as long as it's a word.
Yes,
good point.
It's a word. Okay, Jake
Excellent.
Cassio, good contribution. Feel free to sit the rest of this one out.
Is civic duty? That's 2 words.
It's too much.
Can we put a dash in the middle?
Nope.
No, okay.
All right, so you're thinking we tier
Tomorrow's
the word.
election day.
We tier it towards tomorrow every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so not necessarily a recap word from today, but a word for tomorrow.
A word of encouragement for tomorrow.
Okay.
We might be doing Friends of the Opening Drive a service tomorrow by reminding them to vote. Maybe it's just the word vote.
The word vote.
I like it.
Now it's spelled like
I was gonna say cook.
Spelled like
Brandon Vote.
Brandon Vote.
V-O-G-A. Yeah. I like it. I think vote is a strong word.
I like it.
Everyone should get out and exercise their right to vote.
If you're registered.
More than a
Responsibility.
Yeah. It's a moral appropriateness.
I will be voting.
I like cooked better.
What does cooked have to do with anything?
Chat, are we
It is. Yeah, cooked.
Is that? I don't get it.
They're not hip enough, Jake.
Yeah, they don't.
What does that have to do with voting?
Well, no, it's not a direct thing with voting. It was a thing referencing for tomorrow.
What's cooked tomorrow?
Well, he's thinking that a certain individual will win, and because of that, will be
So the
cooked.
nation will be cooked.
Yeah.
A bit of a reach, but the nation being cooked part, you got that part down.
Okay.
I just feel like regardless, it'll be an interesting day. Not literally cooked.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting few months. It's not over tomorrow. It's not over tomorrow, my friend. It's not that easy.
Well, you two young bloods are too young. I remember like 2000 and the months it took.
The hanging chads.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like it could be terrible for a long time.
So what the previous president just chilling, like, oh, they thought I was done. They got 3 more months. Take your time counting the votes.
But at least the commercials and the phone calls end tomorrow.
If I get one more text message, I'm going to.
I've gotten 6 since we hit play on this program.
Pretty good.
Three Kamalas, 2 Trumps, and a gay podcast.
Great. I only get one candidate texting me.
Yeah, they know what color hat you wear.
The Sports Animal Audible for tomorrow is vote. VOTE. When they ask for it on the open drive, you give it to them. They're going to have a fun prize from the prize chamber for you.
First you say it, then you do it.
Oh, I like that.
See? First you say it, then you do it.
Vote, everyone. Vote. You want to go with me tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll go.
You've never done it.
No, I have. I'll stand in line. You want to stand in line with me, Fred?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll explain to you how tariffs work. Streaming on 95.9 FM and AM 610, live from Howie Sports Page, the Sports Channel. Welcome back to Tune On. We're live at Howie Sports Page, where Luke Markwith is with us. He is Howie Sports Page. And tonight we're having Monday Night Football. That's right. We do a watch party every single week. Van and I, and sometimes Jake, hosted alongside Luke, where we give away halftime giveaways, fun raffles, and free glizzies. I just ate one. And Luke, you're very excited.
I'm always excited.
It is
Nights,
sweet.
I get to hang with you guys. We get a great crowd in here. We get to watch football and eat glizzies. I mean, life is good.
I spend so much money here. You want to talk to me about that? You want to talk me out of that? You want to talk about
How I talk you out of that. We appreciate it.
the worst.
That's not a good business model.
No, we pay you to be here.
It's true the way it works out. Smart move, Luke.
Yeah, you got us again. You always do.
There's a method to the
I
madness.
Get the big spinning booze hounds in here once a week.
The San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles beat the Cleveland Browns, led by your hero, Jameis Winston. He turns it over so much.
Well, okay. It's because the team didn't believe in him last week. That's why he did so good. Okay.
But now they do.
But they believed in him this week, so we got to see old Jameis Winston. He needs to, have only belief in himself and no one else believing in him.
Me against the world vibe.
Me and God against the world.
Well, it was fun to root for him for a couple weeks. Like, Cleveland deserves some fandom after all the poor decisions their ownership had put them through.
I told you they're going to play their asses off for Jameis last week and upset their division rival, and then it'll be going right back to normal, and they would start sucking again.
Patriots and Titans. Titans victorious. This was the show for Mason Rudolph. Looked very good. Had the offense moving. Drake May is a dude. Get some talent around him. He's going to show you for years.
Play of the year at the end of that game.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Oh, other than the Saquon.
I was going to say
Yeah.
not Saquon.
Oh, buddy.
But Drake May was moving at the end of regulation to get to overtime. It was very impressive.
He ran it all day.
Also, this is a 2-7 and a 2-6 team. Like, we shouldn't be spending a lot of time on this one. They're like, the organization probably wished both of them would lose.
No one was
Like, this
playing
is
to
just
win.
it's just a higher draft pick. Of course, the middling young quarterbacks look good because they were actively trying to lose.
Now, we were going to do our Isham Dental soundbite of the day today, and it was just going to be some lip reading from Dak Prescott.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't need to do that
When
one.
we find the audio, it was just listen to tough loss for the Cowboys.
Well, your boy here has been saying the same thing for a few weeks, so it's not like he said anything that was out of the ordinary.
Did you say it in front of 4K cameras?
If I would, if I could.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Has Dak never seen a baseball game?
Go ahead.
You put the glove in front of your mouth. You put your hand in front of your mouth. You do something to where people can't read your lips. Teams hire people that can read lips. And you think somebody, like the cameraman out there, is just strained on him the whole time. Whatever camera 26 or whatever is, like, this is the Dak cam. Like, one guy follows Dak around the whole time waiting for a moment like this, and they got
Will
one.
you give Dak no more of our airwaves and give it all to Cooper Rush?
Yeah, baby.
He looks good.
I need Cooper to lose out here. I need Cooper to lose out. And Dak knew the camera was on him. He did it on purpose so that Jerry could see this is how he feels about the roster you gave him.
Yeah.
How he feels about the offense you gave him when Dak Prescott, the Cowboys players, the whole entire Cowboy nation of fandom all was expecting some more help. You got nothing.
How long is Dak Prescott out? Rest of the year?
He's
A
on
couple
IR,
weeks.
I believe. I think it's at least 4 weeks.
Okay. And it's a what? It's a hamstring or a knee or something?
Yes. Travis Hunter, come on home.
So I think I got this verbiage right. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Luke, tell me if I'm using this correctly. Ezekiel Elliott is cooked.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah, you nailed that.
Yeah, he's cooked. Dude's not showing up to meetings.
is
Which
he,
Oh,
You're
it's
mad?
because Rico Dowdle is doing so good.
if he's cooked, he's well done because he was cooked a long time ago.
I was going to say, is anybody surprised about any of this?
No.
And Rico Dowdle last week, he claimed he was too sick to play, but then he's outside signing autographs before the game.
Oh,
Typical
just coughing on kids. Nice.
Yeah, typical Cowboy fashion. You can sit out the game sick, but you can also go out and sign autographs because the fans are what matter, right?
Was it cold outside?
Not that cold. It was in Dallas.
All right, I need to give you guys breaking news. Mukweli Akele will join us on the show tomorrow. He scored the game-winning goal for the New Mexico United.
Oh, wow, exciting.
Good get.
We are live in studio, so we're very excited about that. Just got the text, so that'll be sweet. We'll start the show with him at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Get some fun United talk on Election Tuesday.
I vote for United.
I vote to be United.
Joe Burrow had that one game that we thought he was going to have every game, and he had it against the Las Vegas Raiders over the weekend. Looked hecka good, 5 tutties, just no one could put a hand on him, and the Raiders are bad.
Mike Gesicki, though, looks like the greatest football player of all time this
That's
week. The white tight end that does the gritty.
Yeah. If you find an outlet that you really trust as a quarterback and it's within 10 yards every time you drop back, get that guy the ball. Like, you've seen this formula done historically over years. Like, all the best quarterbacks ever played quarterback, they had that real fast outlet. If there was a guy coming off the line as a tight end or a running back coming out of the backfield as a running back, there's always been a dude. Joe Burrow can be the best quarterback in football if he trusts his dudes. Alongside that, Jamar Chase had 7 catches. He was also very good.
They're still without T. Higgins. I mean, they're banged up.
The Bengals as a team have been underperforming all year, but Joe Burrow's been balling out. Just because they're not in first place and they don't got only 1 or 2 losses doesn't mean that Joe Burrow hasn't been putting this team on his shoulders and going ham.
I think they're really missing Mixon.
Totally.
And Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
I
And
think
Tyler
that's a
Boyd
big
for
one,
sure.
too.
They're finally leaning on Chase Brown instead of Moss, which I think they should have been doing the whole year. That helped out.
Yeah, he's coming on.
Our boy Gardner Minshew said to the public he has a level of frustration being benched in this tough loss.
Did he say it or did somebody lip read it?
I believe he said it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he said it to The Athletic, which is, they never lie. That's legitimately the best and most boring sports news source out there. Like, you can trust them.
Just the facts, man.
100%.
The Raiders, though, have the most interesting running back room for names. Alexander Mattinson, Amir Abdullah, and Zamir White. That's just a legendary cast of characters.
I don't
name-wise.
know. But you won't remember their names in 2 seasons.
I've already forgotten.
Trust me, I know all about Amir Abdullah, okay? Former Lion years ago.
Yeah, that name rings a bell for sure.
Former
Is he a
Viking, too.
Nebraska guy?
These all sound accurate. Why not? Desmond Ritter came in and played quarterback for the Raiders. The story ends there. It ends there. They are done for the year. Speaking of done in the AFC West, the Broncos are not good.
Bo Nix, wide receiver 1.
You hear yourself?
Great wide
The old
receiver.
Philly special.
He caught the only Broncos touchdown, so kudos to him. They had to play the Ravens. The Broncos have been
They
surprising.
like a mad Ravens. That
Yeah, the
lost
Ravens
them.
coming off of a Cleveland loss. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not as bad as they're supposed to be. So good on the Broncos for being in the mix, having a winning record, playing competitive football. But not a lot of teams play competitive football against the Baltimore Ravens.
It's like Derrick Henry's worst game of the year, and he only had 100 yards.
And 2 touchdowns.
Release them.
He was bad against the Browns. It was tough if you're an AFC West fan. Kansas City plays tonight, is that right?
They do. Tampa Bay.
They do well tonight. They will do super well tonight. As we roll through them, Van, you called this one, Cardinals over the Bears. You didn't call it this big, though.
I didn't know. I didn't call it this big. Caleb Williams had happy feet all game, and his receivers are just quitting on him.
They hate him.
They hate him.
Yeah,
They
DJ
hate
Moore
him.
shoulder checked Caleb Williams when he was heading to the sideline.
What is going on? Like, the Bears wide receiver core is supposed to be one of the best in football, and they're just jogging around the field. What one play, DJ Moore just left the field mid-play.
Yeah, and sat down on the bench.
He just jogged off the field.
I was looking at that play so much to see if he stepped out of bounds already and whatever happened. I still don't know what happened.
It's called the Anthony Richardson. He was tired.
He didn't tap his helmet.
He
Though.
was tired.
He didn't tap the top of his
He
helmet.
just jogged right off the field.
Eagles victorious over the Jaguars. Maybe not as big of a win as you would expect to see.
But the best play of the day.
The best play I think, ever.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Of the year, I'll say with confidence. Ever, that's a stretch, but
Yeah, Barry Sanders has got something to say about that one,
Oh.
but it was very, very close.
They will be
A
adding the
blind-
backwards huddle to Madden next year.
a blind reverse 180 hurdle? That is nuts.
Something off like Super Mario or something. I mean, it looked like he was jumping over a turtle and hitting a.
Yeah, was
Rick.
that pure instinct, or do you think like one of his linemen was yelling at him like jump?
Well, no. So what happened? He hit the first spin move, and then immediately he looks forward, but his momentum, he was still spinning. So I think the timing of it all, he just knew exactly what the timing was going to be. So he just timed it up. I mean,
It was
also,
just self-preservation at that point.
yeah, and he's got this thing. You can tell with Saquon, when you see him, you see his legs. His name's Saquad. It's what we call him. The biggest thing with him is you try to tackle him low because he's so strong. So he's used to guys going low. And likewise with tight ends, I mean, instead of taking hits to your legs, you might as well just jump. So I think now he's got this instinct where he does not want his legs to get hit. So he's jumping and he's spinning and doing everything.
Yeah,
he
you
can.
tackle his legs, he's not taking the bad end of that.
Sure.
Trevor Lawrence doesn't have it. Is that a fact? Is that like a factual sentence?
You're talking about number 1 overall pick, biggest bust in the history of NFL, Jamarcus Lawrence. Is that who you're referring
I
to?
think we are.
That's a bummer.
At least he can
High
read the
hopes.
playbook.
That's one that I got wrong.
Yeah, T-Law. I think T-Law needs to shave his head just like Sirianni did.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
I see him leaving and finding success somewhere else. I don't know. I still think he's got it.
He has a contract extension though.
No, I know,
He's
but
stuck.
well, they'll trade him. If he's not winning, it's not going to work for either party. Something will happen.
Trevor Lawrence to the Raiders.
You can't pay somebody $55 million to lose 7 out of 9 games.
Yeah.
On a team that they thought was loaded.
Yeah.
Unless you're Dak Prescott and you get paid $60 million.
The final one from yesterday was the Vikings and the Colts. It was Sunday Night Football. I did not have my eyes on this one. I looked at the stat line. I remembered how good Sam Darnold was to start the year. United was on. It didn't have me, boys. Did anyone catch this?
It was a rough first half. The second half, Vikings got it going.
It was like watching old Big Ten football,
3
punt,
yards on a
interception,
clouded dirt.
fumble. Yeah, it was a little tough.
I mean, the difference is the Vikings have Justin Jefferson, the Colts don't,
Yeah, but they have Joe Flacco.
who played better than Anthony Richardson, but 179 yards and interception is not going to beat a good Vikings defense.
Will Reichard missed his first field goals ever professionally. There's so many domes now. You don't ever expect a guy to miss.
Especially the way the year started for kickers.
Yeah.
You're talking about narrowing down the goalpost. The worst idea you could do. I mean, I guess you look at other sports. They sometimes have made adjustments. Like, didn't they change how far the mound is from the plate in baseball?
Well, historically,
The height of
yes.
the mound.
They're recently height.
See, I think would be interesting if we do it like rugby, wherever
Okay.
you score in the end zone, that's like where
The
you have to
angle?
kick from, like the angle. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Also, hear me out. Let's get rid of kicking and punting and still keep the name football. And in the future, people have no idea why it's called that. It'll be a hilarious joke that we pulled on everyone. They barely use their feet right now.
I was going to say, even now, it's a bad name.
Yes.
What if you put like a basket up there and the quarterback can just throw it into, like, depending upon size, a 1, a 3, or a 5-point basket?
This is getting a little MTV rock and jock.
I'm into it.
I was like,
You're
can we have some
describing-
trampolines too?
He's almost describing the game of creators of South Park basketball. Yeah.
Well, would that be super cool? What you could do is, so a quarterback, instead of throwing the ball away, they have these little targets on the sideline. So if nobody's open and you just have to throw the ball out of bounds, you get one little heave at a basket, and if you get it, how about you get first down?
Yeah, but the target is a guy on a horse.
Ooh.
You gotta have a moving target.
Gotta have a movie.
Gotta have a moving target for sure.
Like whack-a-mole.
Last Boy Scout now. I like it.
It's a super loud that you
actually
can hear
be
all through the
entertaining, though.
stadium.
Yeah, dogs for kids.
Dongs for kids.
Yeah, there we
Everyone
go.
knows that. We've been talking about it for years. When we get back from the break, we preview tonight's Monday Night Football and festivities. It's 2 Men On, live from Howie Sports Page, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. tonight while we're hosting. We're going to gossip with you. That's our thing.
Yes.
We're super into it now.
You guys gossip more than the sorority girls I used to hang out with.
Real sewing circle over here.
Gossip.
Sip on some coldies here now.
Tea.
Oh, you know T?
Don't spill it.
What are you doing? Is T the name of a guy I should know?
I'm not thinking of a guy when I think of T.
Okay. Buccaneers and Chiefs tonight. It's going to be the Baker Mayfield show, right, boys? Right?
I think so.
No,
He
it is
doesn't- He
not.
doesn't need his two wide receivers, the two best wide receivers in the Buccaneers history. I think this is a trap line tonight.
He plays best in prime time. That's Baker Mayfield's thing.
Yeah. Baker's going to run the ball.
Baker's going to keep it close. The Chiefs defense, it's hard to wrap your head around it.
Like the last 2 years, the Chiefs have been like a top 3 defense, and they've been surviving off their defense the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
Hey, in the last 23 games of Mahomes' career, he has thrown 23 interceptions.
Won a game, that's not that bad. Keep winning. Keep winning Super Bowls and live with it.
Why did Jason Kelsey try to beat up a fan?
I was gonna say, I think Travis gets a touchdown tonight and spikes the ball like it's a cell phone.
That's so sweet.
That was
I don't care if
weird.
anybody says that Jason wasn't having a good. There's something else bugging Jason. He's
Yeah.
missing football. I think
Well,
that's what.
That guy was trying to elicit the exact reaction he did. He was walking around yelling in Jason Kelsey's face. Jason Kelsey isn't a representative of the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL and all of his brands anymore.
Yeah.
He's just a dude with a podcast now.
And a
It's like-
horrible triple cereal.
Yeah.
I think,
which
yeah,
is
there's
obvious.
I do think though, whether they have come to the surface or not, I think Jason Kelsey, and also just because of Travis becoming as big of a star as he's become, there's some sponsorships on the line that, I mean, he didn't go too far. He didn't do anything worth getting in trouble over, but he's got a lot of stuff that he's still the face of, and he usually has this bubbly image, you know, the fun guy, and I think he's missing football. I think he's a little irritated.
I think he was setting up a sponsorship deal with Otterbox.
And that's what I was about to say. He was trying to work on an endorsement deal for cell phone cases.
Yeah.
That'd be very, very smart.
What,
I mean,
what
he kept calling Jason's brother, which we all know is Travis Kelsey,
Oh, they're
ins-
related?
insanely derogatory term
That was
for
weird.
being homosexual.
That was weird.
And if you love your brother, you can only take it so much. Like, there was no handlers there, like trying to keep this kid's distance. He was holding a cell phone in his face and yelling at him full blast.
So
I don't care who you are. You're gonna have your breaking
you're
point.
making the point I'm about to make, which is Jason Kelsey needs to realize he's not just man on the street anymore. You need handlers. You need somebody
Yeah.
to drive you direct. Like, you're past the point.
Kelsey is never going to do that.
Yes, you will.
I honestly don't think so. Yeah.
You see a
He's
lot of
not like
NFL
that.
players. You see a lot of NFL players lacking like that. Like, for instance, the fan that was heckling Drew Brees a few weeks ago about saying, "Hey, Drew Brees, how about them Eagles?" And he's like, "I think my record's pretty good versus you guys." That one was a lot softer. But Drew Brees, he's walking out there pretty much by himself. And even you guys would know, I went to 2 NFL games. And one of the ones I went to, I mean, Daryl Johnston just walked past us, like, very casually, and you had to really know who it was to recognize it.
Well, he's not Daryl Johnson in football circles.
Yeah.
Cool. But this Kelsey cat, that's a much bigger deal. Yeah. And also, like, and Daryl Johnson's like former Cowboy and all that stuff. Like, he is not the slap happy, like, neighborly, big brotherly bear guy that Jason Kelsey is.
Yeah.
People are going to come at him weird.
Remember Bosa in the Super Bowl? Was that last year? When Joey Bosa was getting heckled? It was last year.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot more money than you. He's getting into a chess match with the fans. And he was with, like, some family and his girlfriend, and still, boom, heckled.
I mean, it even happened with baseball. Manny Machado said he'd bet his entire salary that he would win a World Series before the Dodgers did.
Well, if you want to see weird proclamations, you should learn about politics. We're hosting Monday Night Football tonight here at Howie's. Give us the rundown.
Be a great game. We got Tampa Bay, we got Kansas City, we got Glizzies, we got halftime giveaways, we got the best drinks in town, the best people anywhere you'll ever find. I can't overstate enough how amazing it is.
I like that. Did you know the Chiefs have a 99% chance of making the playoffs? It's actually greater than 99%, but I don't want to give you the exact number. They're going to win tonight going away, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's not going to be close.
I don't think going away. No.
You don't?
No, I think it'll be a good game. I do think it'll be a good game. I think Baker's going to show out and have a good game. And
Well, I think we almost don't even need to have the conversation about this game. We need to have a conversation about, do they go undefeated? Because that's what this team looks like.
Won't happen.
Yeah, hard no.
no, not with
Week
this.
11, Chiefs versus Bills. Bills win.
That's November 17th.
I'll have at least one loss.
They'll have a couple.
If they beat the Bills,
Well, hold on.
they won't have a loss.
Will the NFL and the Zebras
Steelers?
allow them to have a loss?
Yeah,
Is the
well, that's-
question. Are they going to keep getting, favorable calls on the game-winning drive
It depends on how tomorrow goes.
where somebody breathes on a wide receiver and he falls over?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Literally all their wide receivers have fallen over. Like, whatever wide receiver it is, they trade for him tomorrow.
Dude, they got Juju and D-Hop. That's like the best 1-2 punch in the NFL.
Isn't he?
7 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Is Schuster hurt?
Always.
Always.
Something. He probably hurt himself making a TikTok.
Is he into TikToks?
He's very into TikToks.
Oh wow! Yeah,
You don't
that's
know
what
about
really
this?
started. That's what started the villain.
Yeah.
The what?
YouTube. It was the Corvette TikTok, and he would go on people's fields and doing it, and the opposite team was getting pissed that he kept going out in the field and doing the TikToks, and that's why players started headhunting him.
Smith Schuster inactive tonight.
And they would be posted before the game.
Yeah, he posted before the game, go in the middle of the 50-yard line and start dancing.
And he's still doing it, kind of.
Is he?
He's more on the sidelines now.
Yeah.
But, like, what was the team? What were they doing about it? Like, nothing? Just, like, they were giving him downvotes or something?
They were like
Yeah, there's no downvoting on TikTok.
Oh, my bad, dude.
Should be.
He was
If there
playing a
was
huge part in it.
downvotes on TikTok, I would join.
There's no downvoting on any social media anymore because it hurts people's feelings. We used to be a country.
Yeah, I guess Reddit and YouTube aren't social media. So
No, they took it off YouTube.
There's no YouTube downvote.
Yeah. I think Reddit might be the only one.
that's why I have no dislikes.
Real America on Reddit.
I'm looking at the AP Top 25. Vanderbilt's in at 24 points.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Diego Pavia has to be public enemy number one in Auburn
And
after
all
beating them last year with New Mexico State and then this year with Vanderbilt. He's 2-0.
They played Texas very well last week too. That's actually a solid football team that deserves to be ranked. And the week before they beat Alabama, they played a good Mizzou team very, very well.
Oh, yeah, that was a close one. They went down to missing a kick in overtime.
Do you guys feel like Mizzou's good? Because I feel like they do play everyone to the end, but then just lose somehow.
They have a really good wide receiver.
Noted. Yeah.
That's it.
Colorado also in the top 25. They're sitting at 21, which is nice for them.
Future Seminoles coach Deion Sanders.
Nah, he won't go. He's too petty.
I think they work it out. I think
Rename
it's
the field
scripted
or
to end
something.
back there.
Yep.
It's scripted for him to end up back there.
I could see him going to Florida or Miami.
Oh, my Washington State Cougars sitting at number 20. They come here to UNM on the 16th, so be ready for a blowout.
You going?
Oh, come on. Washington State's got a chance.
Yes, they do. I mean, it's the best college football top 25 I've seen in a long time. Like, it doesn't feel like just top 6 or 7 heavy like it has. It feels like a lot of these teams could win against each other.
It's because they're playing for more. They got a chance to actually be in the playoff.
Well, also, you want to be in that 5 through 14 because you don't want to take that first week off and lose out on all those sweet, sweet home game revenues.
Exactly.
And also, it's because there's 2 super leagues and everyone else. Like, oh, the Big Ten now has to play all the California teams again.
Mhm.
And then, the SEC team has to play the whole Big 12 now. Like, there's going to be more L's for these top shelf teams instead of having 2 rivalry matches and then 10 cupcakes.
Army's 18.
Army has a chance.
That's so sweet.
This whole thing is sweet right now.
Indiana too.
9-0.
Yeah,
Like
that's impressive. Right there.
Tennessee sitting 7. It's as good as it's been. I kind of slept on college football the first 4-ish, 5-ish weeks.
Yeah.
And you're back.
It's been bangers.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Oh, you're dude.
There was no late games this weekend. There was no 8 o'clock. I mean, the last games this week, college games, started at 6 o'clock. There was none of that West Coast late game stuff that I always look forward to.
Well, everyone was at political rallies.
Yeah.
Also, where was Oregon? Because, I mean,
They had a bye.
oh, yeah. Then what are you going to put on in prime time? Nothing.
Oregon just got the good win over Michigan. Oregon's looking, they're going to win it all.
And they got Maryland next week, so they'll beat them too. Like,
Yeah.
there won't be a ton of upsets moving forward.
I think it's all going to come down to conference championship week.
Penn State, well, that doesn't have the rubbing.
Penn State just can't beat a top 5 team. They're
Wow.
1-13.
Booty. Jake,
Hi, Mom.
Luke here at Howie's.
Hi, everyone else's mom.
I like that one. I like that one.
Isaiah says
Equal
also
opportunity.
Small. Isaiah back at the studio.
Travis Hunter's coming to Dallas.
Guess we're over the running back in Boise now. Like, just
One of them. One of
okay.
them.
Okay.
Anything will help. You should be
Yes.
happy with whatever you get.
Yes. Yes. At the
Sport,
top 5.
Sports Animal Audible is vote. Make sure you tune into the opening drive tomorrow, Van.
Come drink at Howie's, my friends, and make sure you check out the opening drive tomorrow morning with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you tomorrow, Booty.